Hello everyone, this is Daily Merch, and this video is one of the first projects that I'm going to be showing that present my work on digital product design. Probably this is one of the first that worth to present, and I will continue presenting more. Layla, as you know, and also if you watched Layla before, that's a project that I did website and branding, and then I did the digital product for them as well. I'll be presenting that part as well later on. Meta and these kind of projects I'll be addressing later. But I will start from this one. This is a really interesting project. It was a little bit twisted in a way that I needed to create mainly design assets and ideas, so the foundation was not established well on the client's side. Nevertheless, that challenge is also teaches you, so to say, how to go about it, how to discuss things and clarify. So the idea is to build a little bit different. They want to have a little bit sense of differentiation in respect to the platform, and it's more related to crypto, NFTs, and everything like that. It's kind of virtuous heart, interesting general ecosystem that they have behind the back, an idea about it. The idea is to call it virtuous heart. So my idea is to play with some kind of high, let's say, shining element of the heart. It's virtuous, it's heart. It's really beautiful. You see the radiation, so to say. When you hover over, it turns. And imagine you can play with the sound effects later. If, for example, this client will be already further in the process and they will have, let's say, a sound designer in their mind, a budget will allow them to do so. There's a way to work shoulder in shoulder and create amazing results. Or even 3D design also can be further. Again, if this client would continue further working with their situation in the market, a lot of interesting stuff can be created for this project. And here I'm going to just present to you. I will not be running through, so it's a little bit different way when we present product design. In this case, I have two versions, also mobile device. I will show you mobile device, but it was quickly designed as the, let's say, foundation for them in a visual experience, so they can go on and build further on their own. And I will be showing you desktop and phone, and I'll show you some responsiveness from the process. So the idea is, you can see hover over. You can also hover over this element. It's like as if it's revealing the shininess of the texture, some kind of thing. And you can enter by clicking the button, or you can just enter by the heart. So you can actually click and enter it. It appears. It takes user to the website. It's a web app kind of approach. So here again, you have this shininess. You can see again, play with the different colors. So here you as if again immersive in 3D sense a little bit. So you have a social media. You can enter those. Kind of closed domain. When you close, we can close and go back. You can see how smooth. The idea is to keep it smooth and clear. I like that taking user from the memorability of interaction and responsiveness. So you close it, you can see things, menus disappear, and the heart start to appear in its initial position. So you always, as a user, remember subconsciously the position and where are you at stages. You can see we have enter page, enter app. You can see when I hover over enter app, that's the whole thing. We want to take them to the app. You can see how heart responses, and you can see from the left we have arrow appearing, and from the right is kind of the menu screen is ready to come in from the kind of as if augmented reality sense perspective. So this is where we want to take them. Again, it's a landing page, initial demonstration of how we can go about the design. And you can see that we can sign up on About Us. If you go to About Us, it also takes us to this kind of unique color purple. And tells a little bit about them. Social media is always there. You can see that close, it's like you see the radiation. And if you apply the sound effect, it should be pleasant shifting gears kind of effect of sense. So we close that. We can go to the sign up. Here also, you can just give them option to sign up. So the idea, as I mentioned, is to show every format, every style of the color of the presentation and so on, playing around and showing what's possible so they can use it themselves eventually. So we close it and we go enter app. So that's the main thing where we're going to go. We're going to enter app, and you'll see that arrow will bring the menu, and that side will come into the center. So we'll enter that, and that's what we're going to do, right? And we can always close it. I'm going to do the same backwards. I want user to remember where we have been and where we're going. So the idea is this is the action screen because it's kind of app and the information checking. And again, as I said, there's a way to improve the whole experience with guidance, with explanation, with account entrance, again, based on the situation of the client and decision makers. All they need is some kind of assets and design and idea to have so they can continue. But again, as I like to say, there's a lot of interesting, great stuff if we can understand yours as a customer, let's say, as a decision maker, if you have clear business, clear roadmap, clear understanding of where you're heading, what you're doing, and you can communicate across and vertically and horizontally what is needed, how that serves the everything. So it's really important to have entrepreneurial mind, strategic mind, creative mind, and leadership in order to be able to get the best out of the services and partnerships with others. In my case, is with a designer, and I do partner with founders and executive teams in order to help their products, their business, to be communicated in a high level through the websites, through the branding, through the product that they offer. So I did my best to present. Really interesting, actually. The idea of the heart and the categories. You can see how it can be in the menu, and eventually you will be able to close it on a mobile device. I'll show you. So we can close it. The point is, the categories, there can be more categories as you want. So the idea is to make it responsive and optional for them to decide how to organize information. So you have your hearts, your wallets, NFT assets, and exchange. So if we go to your hearts, it'll open the screen. And so the idea is apparently that they subscribe. They allow users to subscribe, and they have this user subscription is kind of runs out as a heartbeat. So once you run out of your heartbeat or something like that, you have to subscribe again. Kind of that's the idea. A little bit gamification. So you can use this. You can just drag this. You can see I'm dragging. You can see that it's a kind of a sense of my idea again, and is to bring some kind of sense of augmented reality direction, so they can evolve eventually in the future. You can see how we can scroll. So you can also just click arrows if you want to. So there are different ways to interact. So this is kind of as if you have different hearts, and I don't know, probably the different hearts have different functions. So again, it depends how they would like to evolve it. My point is to present different solutions. Access your gift, accept your gift. That doesn't work. Let's see. I think this one enters. So yeah, I like this. I think Spotify inspires me in a way for this, inspired me in a way for this responsiveness. So you can see that we can move screens here and there. And once I enter this kind of menu side, this is the action screen side, and this is the information provision side. So I'm just entered this element, and it gives me information about it. So you can recharge your heart. That's the whole idea. I think you cannot do that. And done, right? If you're done, it closes. I like this responsiveness. Again, I want the user to understand and remember what comes in, what goes away. So it's kind of builds this subconscious orientation. So that's the thing. This was also some kind of request to build some kind of navigation element that I'm not really sure what's the point, because it's kind of out of devices, commonly accepted around the world, but it makes sense. Again, if I would understand better, for example, right, that's what I point out. It'll be interesting to know. And indeed, if you evolve, for example, this application further successfully for the market, there's a chance to use this navigation element in augmented reality, for example, right? So, I just needed to create some kind of different interactive elements, responsiveness of these things. And from my perspective as user experience expert, I would say it's not really self-explanatory. Nevertheless, there's a way to educate user by giving them tutorial, but I'm not sure what's the point of this, but this is what's possible, for example, to build, and it's quite interesting. Okay, let's go to your wallets. So also, I guess this is related with crypto. So what you do, again, you can open different wallets, and I don't know if you can edit, maybe you can enter. It should respond the same as your hearts. And let's go to NFT assets. Now, this is also interesting, a little bit inspiration from other projects that I did for the video games XUI filtering system. So if you click again, this appears. You can see how this hierarchy kind of responses to the minimized screen. And you can search. You can see how many elements you have, really compact. You have categories, so you can have graphics, photography, gaming, music kind of idea. I guess they have assets of NFT of different kind of formats. So that's the filtering system of categories. And then order, you can order by price, for example, by time, and kind of rareness. So good system filtering. If you're done, you're done. It brings you back to this view. For example, if I click this asset, it gives me information. You can see again how responsive that is. The screen always, so you can see, you can enter every asset, and you can just read it and clone to new asset, something like that. Heartbeat, I guess this probably be a cryptocurrency or something like that. So upload NFT assets, nothing happens. Okay, good. Exchange, really beautiful. You can see how the beautiful heart element that I came up with to present this branding side, but it also gives this depth and broadness, really symbolical. And here is, you can go into the exchange. So you have hard balance, for example, and USDT, for example. You can shift between them, this kind of explanatory thing. So what you transfer to what. You have perform exchange. Let's see You have history, right? So you can check the history of your exchanges and search. You can check the currency. Also, you can see how this changes also. You have currency, so you can change currency. An example, of course, just showing that you can change, but you change here as well. So that's really well done. And I think you can perform exchange. I think this will be responsive. Let me see. Yeah, you see, I just did it. So when you perform, it's in progress. This is complete. So what happens? I'm just using this element to demonstrate progress indication. It also says perform exchange and process. You can see how I'm using different color codes as well. So that was really something. So that's the desktop. It was not really smooth transition, by the way. It's just designed so it should just start from the fresh, but it's okay. So you see, that's okay. It's something to build further because it's a process of design where we're creating different assets for them to use. So that's the one. And let's go to the mobile device. Let's give it a try on a phone. So the point is it's tapping system. So for example, when we click, it doesn't work on desktop. So if you click, it will be tapping effect. So if you I'm going to tap and hold, you can see the heartbeat. And I'm letting go, it's just not entering. You can just click enter domain. You can enter, but if you kind of tap and hold, it's going to beat you into the entrance. It's kind of something that user can reveal himself or herself, because usually everyone will be clicking the button, but you can click the heart, hold it, and you'll enter. And imagine how kinesthetic response. This bumping on a phone when you have bump effect. When you sometimes I don't remember the name for this. That should be also not only sound effect for this turning gears, but also imagine you can have this kinesthetic bumping sense of the mobile device once you enter the heartbeat. It's also something to play with. Once my client or decision makers, they have an idea, they like the idea, they're capable to build it budget-wise. So it's interesting to work with sound designers and other specific designers for coding side. So anyways, so on the phone, this is how it looks like. So I need to predict on the phone. Let me see. So you can sign up. I'm just going to go enter the app. So you can see what happens here. You can just drag this also show that you can always hide the menu. And let's see, to the heart. So the thing, so it operates like this. You can just go arrows. So you say it's important to check and make sure that the phone is working. So when I enter heart, it just flies in, and then it can done. I think there's a way to scroll up somewhere. The idea was that you can scroll up and down also, but it's okay. Let's go like this. You see, yeah, there you go. It's like this indicating the order of the elements. So I could swipe also, for example, on the phone. If I would just swipe up, it would just take me to the wallet. So it's really convenient, really quick. Just swipe left, right, and that's it. That's for the phone. That's really interesting, quick to test. And the beautiful thing with Figma is that on the phone, I have a mirror of the app of Figma, and I can test it. I love to test these, and you can see how quick you can swap up, left, right, and everything is just interactively quick. So that will be this. Let's go to the assets. Let's see. So filter, it appears from the side. So there's a little bit of extra work that I needed to do. Yeah, can I enter this one? And that's about it. Exchange. Let's see. Currency. Yeah, that's how it goes. History. Yeah. So that's it. Let's see. Close it. Yeah, also not smooth, but it's okay. There's a way to make it smooth, but it's good. So that's all I wanted to present. It's really interesting. It's one of the first worthy digital product designs that I did in the beginning. Again, I would love to see this complete. There's a way to build it complete. Again, it depends from decision makers, from clients, how far they can go, how far they want to go, and other reasons to develop. To be honest, for me, it was a little bit hard to understand ecosystem. And these days, for example, I would give a pressure, but I would persist from leader perspective in entrepreneurship. I would persist to perform business and branding therapy with this client because it was a lot of questions, really hard to understand. So I needed to call my client for these kind of therapies like I do these days in order to learn everything well, help them to put things clearly on the page, on a paper, and be able to help them to build a report, observation, recommendation report, creativity and strategy report. I like to do this these days because that helps my clients these days. And I would love to be able to go back in time and help this client to understand, to build a report for them to understand the situation, observing the situation, giving them recommendation, clarifying the ecosystem, and defining what needs to be acted upon from business, branding, and design and marketing, and see where else I can help them to help them, to be honest, to do the right steps. I must say, prevent them from falling into the pit, so to say, falling into the traps ahead on their way. But that's what I see from my side. I was spreading myself so towards the entrepreneurial expertise that I can. That's why I say I'm partnering with founders and executive teams. I understand business language, I understand market language. I care for business goals, for user needs, and competitive marketplace. I like to say that. I like to say that branding and websites and products, digital products, they are shaped by your business goals. They are shaped by user needs and competitive marketplace, and much more. To be honest, so that's what shapes your sculpture. It's not aesthetics only. It's not UI. It's more user experience and more about business goals. That's it. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was interesting. I really enjoyed actually building this. And again, I always like to see it evolving further. Every project I want to see successful in the market and help them to get there. That's it. Enjoy your day. Continue.